Hello class, how you guys doing today? Sorry about the no video. Today we are doing JP7. So I am going on to box.com, going to JP7, and we are going to be downloading all of the code. So we are going right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're also going to be opening up hashtag 305 JP7 instructions. And the only other one I'm going to be doing are these two, 308 and 309 at the end. First thing we want to do is open up BlueJ, and if BlueJ doesn't have a project, go project, new project, type in the project name, and then we got the code. And so now what we're going to do is drag over from my download. So I'm going to go to my downloads and drag over the code. And I can do this all at once if I want to, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the text document that I'm going to open up, and there it is. So let's go through. What I'm going to be doing for this is setting it up so that I have the instructions on one side and the code on the other. And notice that over here we have text size 1, so what I need to do is open this up and change the name. I'm going to just go text size, and when I compile it, that 1 disappears. And now when I compile the whole entire project, all of them compile. And so we want to fill this out, so I'm just going to fill it out, Mr. Fenson, period 7. If you're stuck, never, question mark. So I want to download all the files, and I did that. And I already imported them into BlueJ. And make sure I took care of the 1, which I just did. Click on compile just to make sure everything's good. Yep. Did you open up start here? So let's open up start here, and I'm going to drag this over on the right side so I have it over there. So yes, I did. Did I open up Microsoft Word? We're going to open that up. Click on blank document, and then what we have here is click on blank document. So yes and yes. See that red circle right here? I want to pick a font, and I'm going to pick one easy to spell. Forte, F-O-R-T-E, sweet. Pick that. Yes, it's not chiller. And did you change from italic to bold? So in here, we're going to our step 1. We have chiller and then italic. I want to change italic to bold, all capitals, and then I want to change this to forte. And so click yes and choose a different font size. I'm going to do 75. Yes. Change the color of the text. So pink, let's make it blue. Da-ba-dee-ba-da-ba-da. And these are just all the different default colors you can pick. So now I want to change the string from win to something else, a variable name. So let's create a variable name. I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top below public class and go string output holder equals Mr. Fenson is amazing. And I want to copy this output holder and replace it with win. There we go. Yes. So I need to change the file name. So Fenson Nate 7 JP7, and then rename it to move it. Click yes. Did I open up step number 2? So we go over here, open up step number 2, and I'm going to put this on the right side as well. And I want to copy over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into your code. So yes. So I'm going to actually move this over to the right hand side, and we want my stuff over here. So now what I want to do is see how runnable 1 is here, runnable 1 is this. So I want to copy these, and I'm going to replace runnable 1 with them, so then I know that I actually finished runnable 1. And now notice it goes runnable 1 to runnable 3. That's because runnable 2 is right here, implements runnable. I need to copy after the class, and notice runnable 2. So I'm going to highlight runnable 2 and replace it with implements runnable. Runnable 3, runnable 3, runnable 4 all the way down to here. And I scroll down to runnable 4. And runnable 5, copy and paste runnable 5. Notice how then if I delete the comments, it's now a checklist of what I have and have not done. So now I'm pretty sure we're done with that. click yes. Click compile and get the error message, which I copied over this. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to cut this out and compile it. And notice now I got that error message. So I need to put that back in, compile it, and the error message goes away. Open up step 3. So let's go to step 3. Mouse motion. I'm going to put this over her. And what does it say? Copy over mouse motion 1 through 6. I'm going to click yes. And again, mouse 1. Scroll all the way to the top, mouse 1. Delete that space so it looks all pro. Then I have mouse 3, which again we need mouse 2, which is over here, mouse motion listener. And if you read on a future step, it's going to tell you to put in a comma, but I'm going to put that in right now just because. Mouse motion 3, paste. And mouse motion 4, mouse motion 4. Mouse motion 5, mouse motion 5. Inside paint. And mouse motion 6 all the way down to here, and mouse motion 6. And now when I compile and run it, it works. So I'm going to close this out. And notice this right here states that I need to implement runnable, comma, mouse motion listener. And you can literally just copy this directly over into your program if you are having an issue with that. Now I want to cut everything in my paint into my notepad. So I'm going to cut everything right in here. Cut. Go to notepad, which I'm going to have to open up a new notepad. Paste that in. And I want to go edit, replace G dot with buffer graphics dot. Make sure you have that dot, otherwise you're going to place every G, which is going to replace this G in the string. So I click replace all and we're good to go. I'm going to Control A, Control X and put it back into paint. So yes, yes, yes. Put it back into paint. Open up step 4. Yes, that was cool. So I go here, step 4. There's double buffering. Secret question. I'm not going to tell you guys that because it is secret. But anyways, copy over double buffer 1, 2 inside mouse motion 4, and then copy over 3 the top of paint. 4 goes to the bottom of paint. Did you all do this? I'm going to click yes, 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 yes. Notice I'm reading ahead when I do this. You should probably be doing one at a time. So now I want 1, copy, double buffer 1, paste. 2, notice this goes inside init. So when I go down here, inside init goes right here. That's what this states right here. So I'm going to delete this because trigger area still goes there, but we haven't gotten there yet. Buffer graphics 3 goes on top of paint. Buffer graphics 3. And buffer graphics 4 goes at the bottom of paint. Bottom of paint. And double buffer 5, copy, paste. And we're done with that. Click no because I said so. Open up trigger step 5. And I want to go to edit, replace. So I'm going to first copy my area, so I'm lazy. Edit, replace my area with fencing area. I'm going to replace all. Yes, yes. Copy over trigger spot 2, 4, probably 3 as well, alright? 1 and 3 in the correct spots. Yes, yes, yes. Copy over 1 through 4. So 1 is up here. This goes copy all the way up here. Inside spot trigger area spot 1. This is trigger area spot 2, which is right in here, and that's this comments right here, so I'm going to delete that. 3 is inside paint, so copy that, go to paint, and this is trigger area spot 3, which is right here, paste. And trigger area spot 4, copy, it goes inside mouse moved, which goes right here. Copy over text 613. This should be easy, right? Read 34 before asking me about the compile error. Notice that I get a compile error now because dim is put in twice, so I just want to delete 1. Compile, and now I have a issue with trigger count. Notice trigger count matches up with my trigger count up here, which is fence and area trigger count. So I'm going to copy fence and area trigger count and put it in right there, and which is also used down here. So I need to change it to that one, so I'm going to click yes. 35 is hard. Create a string variable that holds a sentence of some kind, display that to the screen. Now notice we already did this in the instructions, so we're going to have duplicates here. So woohoo help box is based off of the XY with length, but also up here we also have woohoo help box. So we don't need both of these, so we're going to delete that. And we already have the fill rect down here, so we're also going to delete that. And now I have my clear X, set the font, set the color, draw this string right here, output holder. I don't want it to be 2020, I want to delete the help box one, and then delete this code. And then when I compile it, we're good to go there. And now when I compile and run the code, notice that I have that. We want to set the color to be blue, so I'm going to copy blue instead of black, and then I'm going to delete the blue. And now when I see it, I can actually see the whole code, which, as you see, Mr. Fenson, there's some huge issues with that. Change the font size. Does this still work? So right now I'm going to open up 309, which is going to help me even more. Notice it should help you. Change resize to something other than 200 to 100. So I'm going to go inside my init and change this. It's already 1200, 800. So that's good. I'm just going to make it 800 by 800. Edit auto layout to make it look pretty. Yes. Just turn the Java file, which we already did, and there we go. So we're done with 305. So now we're going to work on 309. And look at the Boolean in the trigger area. So if we scroll down, we have the trigger area, which is right here. This is the Boolean inside of it. We need to use that Boolean in Paint, so I'm going to copy this variable, click yes. Look back at my JP6 code. What did you do to get the JPEG to print on the same XL width length as the button? So we want to make a fill rect. So I'm going to put this right here because we're going to need it later. We need to make a fill rect on the XY width length of the button, and the XY width length are right here. So I'm going to copy this, put it down in my fill rect, and delete this. And delete this. And now when I compile and run it, if I typed in these parentheses and the semicolon, now when I run it, I have my text box, my trigger area, and my text. It doesn't disappear yet though. So I found my trigger area, which if I want to change those values, I could go change those values. They are right there. Go to that website, great, click on it, that helps. We want to create an if statement, so we want to somehow get this to work. So what I'm going to do is let's set the color for this text up here to be gray, and we don't want this to be a G-dot, we want it to be buffer graphics. So we're going to compile and run it. I only want the trigger area to show up when I'm highlighting over that, so I'm going to say an if statement, if my Boolean, then I want to do that. Otherwise, else, I want to print out, I'm going to say get in the box at 50/50. So now when I compile it, I have the else with the if, and let's run it. So now it says get in the box, and I get inside the box and it changes, and outside the box the message changes. So with this principle, you can use it to make these two lines of code disappear. Because realize, when I'm outside the box, this prints. When I'm inside the box, let's take a look at the code. When I'm inside the box, this prints. When I'm outside the box, this prints. But this does not print when I'm outside the box. That's your hint. We're using that fence and area inside. Take this some stuff in Paint, which I just did with the trigger area and the get in the box. I even made one. And we did that. What do you want to make disappear? I'm going to have you fill that in. What do you want to make it disappear? Blah, blah, blah. Which now output the value of the trigger count to the screen, which I just did there. Using a G.drawString, which is technically buffer graphics. But you guys get the point. Now we also want the trigger area to be outputted, which that's what this is right there. Trigger count plus fence and area trigger count. That's good. What is the value that goes inside the fill rect? So when we are looking at this code right here. This is what we're talking about for the XY width length. So we're going to look at text size step 6. We want to bring this code over here, and then we also want to work on this code, and we want to import this over. So we have 1 text size, we have 2 font metrics, and realize this is in Paint. Font metrics in Paint, text size, and we want these 2 at her and text size 3. Those are the only 3 things we need from there. So now what we're going to do is take the height line of code and copy it 3 times. So I'm going to go paste, 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 and I have height, and now I need ascent, descent, and leading. So I'm going to go to my box folder under JP7. I'm going to go broken font metrics and click on broken.jpg, and this is the get ascent, get descent, and get leading that I'm going to be using. So over here I'm going to change this from height to leading, from height to ascent, and from height to descent, and I'm going to copy and paste this to leading on height, ascent on height, and descent on height. I'm going to delete all the +2s because I don't need those anymore because we're doing this exactly. And I'm going to delete the +3 and the +13. And I am just going to completely use a wrong formula. So we have the mouse move. I can't use the 120 anymore. I need to put in the string width and the string height plus leading plus descent. And over here it's mouse Y minus ascent. I'm going to compile and run this, and notice this is haha compile error because this needs to go off of the same font that I created up here, scary font. And I don't want this to be G dot, I want it to use buffer graphics dot. And so now when I compile and run this, Fence and Beat Me and Smash does not exist because I used the font output holder, so I'm going to change that. And now when I compile and run this, notice that if I could ever find it, JP7 move it, boom, I have my text box that's completely encased. Now I realize my formula is terrible and I don't have a Y there, so I'm going to put in my Mr. Fenson. So I scroll up, and this is the nice thing about using a variable is if I change it up here, my Mr. Fenson, then the MY checks everything, capital letter and a tailing thing. And right there, notice how it doesn't disappear, but my trigger count changes when I go over the box, and that's pretty much it, except your string has to disappear. And so the red box and the blue text must disappear when I'm inside the trigger area and show up when I'm outside the box. Have a good one. I will see you later.